this is how you engage young people. When you put the camera in the hands of people who are telling their stories that are not representative of them, but they're stories which are a part of them, which is a deep part of who they are, and the essence of how the struggle and the essence of who they want to become and how they can imagine themselves. This is essential. We talk about democracy, and we talk about stories, and we talk about how stories validate us. Media, film has a way of validating us. It's validating our existence, the fact that we exist, that our story has value and has meaning. This is important for this community, but not only that, because it translates universally to other communities as well. Communities all over the world, communities whether they're in Asia, communities whether they're in South Asia, communities they were in my country, the United States, or other communities in Latin America, etc. This is how you engage young people. You provide them some sort of means in which they can imagine themselves or see themselves outside of this. Now, what's necessary is that once you create this new and kids immerse themselves in this new vision of themselves, governance, and create the political space, that has to be open to them too. You have to provide them with opportunities to realize what they can be and who they can be. If you're not doing that, then all this is for naught. If the governance and if politicians and if this country does not provide this space, that means that it has to find another way in which not only the voices are heard, but the means to take people out of the situation, to take them out of the slums, and have them make vital contributions to the society. They have to play a part in that. Those people who have power, those people who have resources to change it, they have to go about changing it. Really make these issues and the future of these young people a part of what Kenya has to look forward to. This is a way to empower those people, our citizens. These are our young citizens. Their ideas are just as valuable as we could reconstruct all communities in Kenya, and particularly as we reconstruct Kibera. So, you know, as they begin to tell their story, then we're bridging that gap. But it cannot be isolated on a little island. It is not something that can be shoved away and we take it out. It has to be part of our conscious. It has to be a part of we have to create this and make this a part of the body politics. That poverty, oppression happens when people's expectation of themselves are diminished. Their expectations of themselves and their expectations of what governance should provide for them. But it's also, in a sense, that we have to say and we have to demand that the space be made in society, the space be made in civil society, the space be made in the public arena for these voices. Not only their voices, but substantive stuff in terms of their futures that create the jobs and the opportunities for them to build lives. If you look at various communities, people depend a great deal more on documentaries for several reasons. One reason is that it's information. Often often the information we get through other forms of quote-unquote entertainment, of other forms which is supposedly informational sources, our newspapers, etc., news and everything. None of that tells the real story. Documentaries gives people information, and with that information empowers them. They have to still make a choice, as this young kid had to make a choice in this film. You know, he still had to make a choice of whether, as a young hip-hop artist has said, whether you're going to take the red pill or the blue pill. You know, you have to make the choice. But the choice, if we don't provide the choices, if we don't give people the information to say, this is what I see in these communities, I can do something about it. I have to be a part of this bridge building. This is not just up to these communities to create the bridge. We have to extend the bridge and extend the participation in this building of bridges. We have the technology to end poverty. We have that technology. We have the capability. Do we have the will to do that? You know, or do they become even more marginalized or silenced in this whole process? We have the capability to do that. We have these documentaries. When people begin to imagine themselves through documentaries and see themselves and present their images to the world, that's how we get political action moving. But that's not only where we get political action moving. That's how we get people moving.